Hello and welcome back to the series where we try to conquer Pendor in 250 days. So, Marius Imperator has decided to give us Ishkomen, and I am infinitely confused. I am very, very confused, because usually when I become a vassal, I may get one, I may get two, but I've never, ever, I don't think at least, gotten 3 fiefs in a row. I'm very surprised. So we're going to accept the honor, of course. And we are going to wait here for some time, which is what I was actually doing when he awarded this to us. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to abandon the siege real fast, and then we are going to just take a quick look. 173, okay. They're not going to sally out. Pretty sure they're not going to sally out here. Let's see if... Oh, this guy actually wants to fight us. That's very strange. He only has 184. I'm going to assume this is a last-ditch effort by the Dashar, because they obviously want to try to prevent us from taking all of their towns. Because if we take all their towns, basically all of their economic strength has literally evaporated. And I wouldn't blame them, to be honest. I wouldn't blame them for that. If they want to do that, and then that is obviously their prerogative, you know, that's their decision. But from my perspective, I am so surprised about Marius's decision. I think that is extremely weird, but as a couple of people have mentioned, it might very well be the renown that we currently have, and it literally may be the fact that having so much renown is making his decision making easy, and he's just basically being like, oh yes, you're a very good vassal because you have so much renown, and so here you go, have this wonderful, wonderful town to do with as you please. And that seems to actually be the case, which is very, very shocking. I have no clue. I have no words. I literally have no words for it. It's astounding. It's literally never happened to me before, so yeah, this is kind of crazy. Anyway, once again, we are doing a little bit of a distraction maneuver here, but I am actually heading in to attack a little bit this time around because I am kind of wanting to. I find it fun. I find it fun to actually fight in this game, contrary to popular belief. Yes, because contrary to popular belief, everyone thinks I like dying. Yes, everyone thinks I... No, I'm just joking, obviously. It's just, that just ends up happening to me. Yes, I just end up dying because that's just, you know, what happens. But yeah, it's always very funny when we actually do get into a battle and I'm actually able to get a couple of kills. It's great. I love it. Super fun to do that. And if we can actually just maybe level up a little bit more, then maybe I'll have some nice things to do with it. You know, because I would like to get to 10 in tactics, if at all possible. Obviously, it's going to be almost, well, very unlikely, very implausible for us to do it, in my opinion. It's going to be very, very unlikely that we'll do it. Did I actually tell my people to charge in? I'm not sure if I told my archers to charge in or not, but yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Most of these enemies are literally pilgrims. They are pilgrims, and they are on a pilgrimage to the afterlife. And it is time for them to realize that there will be no... I don't know, salvation? I have no idea. What are they on a pilgrimage to do? I don't know. I'm not sure what their entire goal is. But whatever the case, yeah, these guys, they're done. And there it is. We got 20 renown. Now, what is really funny about this? Look at this. Look at this. We literally had a 100% death rate, which I have to admit I am very surprised about. Not sure what's going on with that, but yeah, anyway, there we go. Okay, do we have anything here that I really want to take? No, not really. However, I am running out of food. This is also the reason why I basically decided to get as much food as possible, because, do you notice something? I don't have a baggage train right now. My baggage train is gone. It's long gone. So if I were to not have any food in my inventory right now, I'd be starving. my people would be complaining, and it would be very uncomfortable, because then they would basically be like, why don't you have any food, you imbecile, and so on and so forth. And we obviously don't want that. Now, I'm very surprised. We actually did manage to level up for some reason. I actually don't know when this happened, but apparently it happened, I don't know, sometime. And I'm actually wondering whether we should... Do we want to spec into trainer skill? Do we want to spec into looting skill? I could technically put another... you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to spec into riding skill, maybe shield. Maybe I should just go for power strike. Maybe... Oh, you know what? Power draw. Yeah. I think power draw is actually really the way to go here. That's going to be really, really useful in my opinion, because that's going to basically allow me to use some much better bows, and in my opinion, that's actually the key to having really, really good archery. But obviously, you know, having decent proficiency in archery is kind of, you know, otherwise the good thing to do. Now, here we go. We're going to sally out. Look at that. Crazy. I'm actually surprised that they're sallying out straight away with this. But, yeah, I mean, the ratio is obviously in our favor. Now, what we got to do is we are going to obviously do a little bit of, shall we say, rushing after this. Because we do have a lot of catching up to do when it comes to besieging the castles. We need to eliminate the castles very, very quickly here. And that, I don't know. I mean, we've got a lot of, I mean, look, we're at, what is it now? Day 132, right? Yeah, day 132. And technically, if you think about it, technically, I'm actually just going to charge in now. We have accomplished our goal of eliminating a faction. So if you think about it, how long has it taken us to go from basically taking Naltar to eliminating the entire faction? Because, I mean, let's face it, okay, yeah, sure, we are still not yet there. Like I said, we do have a couple of castles remaining in the Deshar territories. But I feel like that's kind of a formality at this moment. I don't think they really have anything that can do super large amounts of damage to us. I could be wrong, of course, but I don't think they're really going to be super difficult. But how many days has that been? As far as I'm aware, it's been about 20 days. 20 days so far. So if you think about how many factions there are left, which is what? Fierdsvain, Ravenstern, Sarlian, and then Empire. And that's it? Is that it? Am I forgetting someone? No, right? So that's 80 days. That's technically 80 days on average if we take 20 days to take all of the towns. Of course, I'm talking about towns only here. I'm not talking about castles. So if we add on, let's say we add on another 10 days per faction, just for the average of how long it takes for us to capture a castle. I mean, it's probably going to be a lot longer than that. Let's face it, it probably will be a lot longer than that. So that's going to be not a terribly good idea, but we'll see. And after recruiting, or indeed rescuing a bunch of the rescue troops, yeah, we are now going to request that Singar be awarded to us. And this is definitely going to be a bit of a long shot. Like I said before, it's quite funny actually for us to even try doing this. It's a bit audacious, but you know what? He's been exceptionally nice so far, and I'm thinking, you know what? If he's already been nice, maybe he's going to continue being nice here. I highly doubt it, to be honest, because let's face it, we're being very greedy. We are being extremely greedy right now. So yeah, I would highly doubt that he's actually going to do anything with this. But you never know, right? You never know. Okay, so there we go. We did this. Let's go in here, get another baggage train just in case. There we go. And now, let's just see very quick. There we go. Okay, so we got these. Ensign can go here. He hasn't leveled up in quite some time, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah, here you go. This is what we're currently looking like when it comes to the Deshar. And bear in mind that, obviously, this is very different if I were my own faction, okay? If I were my own faction right now, I would... Well, let's just say that I would be having this castle, and this castle to take. I'd have to take those. But as it stands, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are only 5 castles that I would need to take. Ah, well, there would be another one over there as well. Karadan Castle would also need to be taken if we had our own faction. So here's the thing. Look at it from this perspective. If I take Windholm, Valenbray, Javexholm, there's only 3 towns in the Fjerdsvane territories. And there are 4 in Sarlian. There are 4 in Ravenstern. And there are 3 in Empire territory. Obviously, all the castles... Some castles are not going to be doable with our time limit because they're siege towers, right? So we do have to check that. So I'm going to go over here real fast. And maybe Singal is actually going to be awarded to us. I highly doubt it. But we're going to try it out. Okay, this is indeed a siege tower. That's hilarious. Okay, that's good to know. That is very, very good to know. Okay, I was kind of thinking to myself, oh yes, we should probably be a little bit careful about that, shouldn't we? Yeah. So let's just put this Empire Legionnaire in there, heavy skirmishers and things like that. We could put some clerics and war priests in there as well. I don't really want to take those. Okay, so I will go to Shaquilla, I guess. Titus Legatus. Okay, he is asking us to go and report to him. 236 in here. Okay. Yeah. This is pretty good. Okay. This is a ladder castle as well. Not too bad. Now, obviously, bear in mind, we are going to wait for the inevitable decision by Marius, and we're going to see what actually happens with him, because he may very well decide that we deserve Singal as well. I mean, I did take it by myself, which I think is pretty... I think that's pretty good. Oh, no, don't die. Oh, no. That was some massive damage. I just took 41 damage to the head. Wow, that was very impressive. Okay, let's just try and be very careful here. Oh, no, I was going to go for the stab there. All right, so let's tell our guys to charge in. As you do. And I'm going to actually be a bit of a coward here right now. I'm not going to take any chances. I want every single bit of renown that we can get our hands on. And if I can get that renown by just literally not being stupid and running out there without a shield, then I think I'll take that. Alright, so there it is. We did lose 1 Maiden Adventurer and a Rogue Blackheart Knight, but, 30 renown, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now, we are going to wait a little bit of time here. I could just... Technically, I could not... I could say that I don't want to claim it, right? So if I do end up taking it, I could say, oh no, I'd rather not take it, I'd rather not claim this as my own or anything like that. I'd rather not send word that I want to claim it. And then he's probably going to be like, oh yes, well that's absolutely fine. Then you don't have to, you know what I mean? So, the question is he going to give it to us? How long does it usually take him? Yeah, I don't think they're going to be besieging that anytime soon. So I think I might have a pretty good shot of us just... Yeah. We might just literally want to build the ladders, or just try to build the ladders anyway, just so that we're ready to go in just when and if he actually comes to us and gives us his decision. Alright, so here it is. This is his decision, and he has decided not to give it to us. But that is actually really, really, like, I'm actually very impressed with Mr. Marius. If I was not doing this challenge, I would feel very beholden to him right now, and I would basically be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to betray this guy for pretty much anything, because he has given us so much already, and I personally believe that he has been more than generous. But because we're doing the challenge, I'm going to have to betray him. And it does feel bad, okay? It does feel bad, but that's what we're going to have to do. Renounce our oath. And we're going to, yes, we are going to rule our lands in our own name. Yes. And we are now going to be having a bad relationship with him, unfortunately. We are going to be appointing prominent citizen from the area. And we're going to be calling ourselves the Kingdom of Penetration. Yes, we are. That is a suggestion by someone in the comments, by the way. So, yes, there you go. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And now we're going to just go into Shaquilla straight away. And we're going to make Lethal Duran a vassal. I'm pretty sure we're going to make him a vassal kind of early here. If we make him a vassal, then we could potentially marry him as well, which may be cool. I think that might be kind of cool. I do have to be a little bit careful here, though. What's really kind of frustrating me right now is that I couldn't find, for the life of me, Sir Alistair. I don't know why I couldn't find Sir Alistair anywhere, but he was actually someone that I wanted to get, just purely because he makes a good vassal, as far as I remember. Anson, hilariously enough, also makes a good vassal, but obviously I didn't really do anything with him, because obviously he's our surgeon, which is indeed maybe the reason why you might want to go with Leslie as your surgeon slash, you know, support character, and you just make Anson into a very capable commander, because he is actually very good at that. Anyway, just shoot this guy in the face. Whoa, 62 damage? Really? I'm surprised. Okay, I've got to be a little bit careful here. This guy is maybe going to kill me. Oh, I can't believe that he's actually timing that. What? How am I missing this? Look at this. I'm literally shooting him right in the face. I have no idea. Some weird stuff going on there with the hitbox. Or I'm just terrible. I don't know. Either way. And we can now make our way up here. Okay, so now here's the thing. Even if I die here, I don't really mind. I would like to survive. It's not possible. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Oh, maybe. Oh, hello. Yes. Yes. Okay, actually working out quite well. Surprisingly. I mean, my power strike is just absolutely terrible. My power draw, on the other hand, has actually provided me with some pretty good experience gains in this siege. So very much enjoying that. I like that a great deal. And it's obviously going to allow me, hopefully, to use a better bow. You know? Basically, that's half the battle. So it's going to be nice. And there it is, 13 renown for us. Obviously, this is when we are now going to go crazy. This is where we need to be very, very quick with our decision making. We need to make sure that we know exactly where we're going, what we're doing at all times, and we need to not waste any time whatsoever. It was a little bit more relaxed when we were still a part of the Empire, because we didn't really have any kind of retaliation. There was no one that was really just going for us and being like, oh, we must murder them instantaneously. But now the Empire, of course, is going to be doing exactly that. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful here. So I'm going to defer appointment of Lord right now, and we're just going to manage the Ooh, no, I don't even need to manage the garrison. Okay, this is absolutely fantastic. These, wow. We actually get some really, really good troops. Unfortunately, I can't take these troops out for some reason. That is hilarious, by the way. Why can't I take these troops out? Okay. Well, is that a restriction that they added or something like that? Because that seems completely... that seems so... sort of like counterintuitive, but oh well, never mind. Okay, I guess that's how they wanted to do it. Anyway, otherwise, we are just going to do this. There we go. Just level those guys up a little bit. Okay, so Singal is obviously going to be attacked very soon. I'm not at war against the Dashar. Just bear that in mind, okay? We're not at war against the Shah, so they're just going to have to limp around on 3 castles. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to make Lethal Durin into a vassal. Let me see. I want to ask you something. Would you be interested in holding a fief? Okay, I'm going to give him Singal, I think. Gonna give him Singal. There we go. I think I'll start a school for rangers there and train you up a Noldor force for your protection. There we go. Okay, so he's actually doing that. Very nice. I'm not entirely sure if anyone else would make a good vassal, but we'll see what happens with Lethal Durin. Hopefully he's going to do a really, really good job, and he's going to absolutely destroy anyone that he comes across. We've got 90... Wow, that is hilarious. There's only... Wait. Can I actually persuade them to give up? Nope. Okay. Yeah, the persuasion skill is not high enough, I guess. I have 8 in it. I have 8, but it's not enough, apparently. Okay, so they have 90. This is actually hilarious because this should be super easy. And there it was, 14 renown, very, very easy. We basically just bombarded the opponent with pretty much everything we had, and they just couldn't do anything, of course. Of course they couldn't do anything. I mean, what are they gonna do, right? What are they gonna do in that situation? Okay, so I think we're probably gonna just give Lethal Durin this. I am probably just gonna give him as much as I can, I suppose, to a certain degree. I'm not gonna give him everything, but I'm gonna give him quite a lot, because I want him to grow his forces to an extreme degree. I want it massive, right? Oh, okay, we're having some issues. I'm gonna use this time to go to Ishkomen. I have no food. I have extremely small amounts of food. Ah, hello. Yeah, they're gonna besiege this. They're going to besiege this in just a second. Okay, so this is going to be very problematic. Okay, yeah, this is going to be kind of harsh. All right, so, wow, yeah, where's my baggage train? Is it already gone? Oh, no, there it is. Okay, so let's just put that there. And it's a tournament. Okay. Is there a blacksmith here? No. That might be... Okay, so what we're going to do, and this is something that I don't think I kind of do this, I guess, to a certain degree, but what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to leave Ishkomen, and it's just going to get taken, okay? We're just going to make it so that it gets taken, just because, and we're going to attack this guy straight up here, just to get him out of the way, just to make sure that he is defeated so we don't have to deal with him in the future. But, okay, my thought process on this is, as I've said before, in the Calradia Conquering series, the ability for the AI to actually besiege things is extremely, extremely low. They're very inefficient when it comes to besieging things. So the best course of action for us to take is to just ignore them. Ignore them and take every opportunity to take the initiative ourselves. And that's it. Then we'll probably be okay. Alright, so they've decided to charge in right now, and, well... This is the first time we're actually fighting against Empire troops. Bear in mind, we are fighting against Empire, right? Obviously, I just said that, but, you know, I wanna stress that point because we are now going to start having morale issues with crossbowmen. So what we need to do is we need to be extremely quick with our decisions, and we just basically need to go into fights almost all the time. We need to go into sieges almost all the time, and we need to try to make sure that we gain a significant amount of morale. This is also the reason why I said to you that I wanted to maintain as many pieces of various loot that I could get my hands on, because that is going to be the main thing, in my opinion at least, that prevents us from losing troops unnecessarily. Also, by the way, this rain track that we have on here, this rain like sound effect that we have, this is a thing that is actually interfering with the sound quality of the music, and of various sound effects. It's a bit strange that that would actually be in the mod, but yeah, I actually don't... The funny thing is, I actually don't mind that, because I think rain is actually, you know, pretty calming and pretty fun, you know, in general for an atmospheric sort of sound effect. But unfortunately, the way it's interacting with the other music pieces and sound effects and stuff is not actually very, very conducive, which is unfortunate, I gotta say. Very unfortunate, because it does make it become distorted slightly, and it makes the certain music pieces play multiple notes, you know, multiple times, and it just doesn't really make sense. But it's okay. Anyway, this guy is 100% dead, as you can see right here. His first initial charge was a fail, and I'm actually having a much easier time fighting against these guys than I have against the Dashar. Not sure what that says about... not sure what that says about me, but apparently I'm just more comfortable fighting against crossbowmen than I am against the wonderful fast-firing speed of the Dashar Reavers and various other ranged troops that they have. And there it is, 19 renown for us, and indeed I did actually manage to get 11 kills, which is actually quite funny. Anyway, what we're going to do is, because the Empire is at full strength, I'm going to take them prisoner. I'm going to take this guy prisoner at least, because he has a bad personality, and I want to make sure that we have, you know, these guys kind of imprisoned quite generally, you know. The bad ones at least. The good ones we are going to let go still. And indeed, they are going to be taking Ishkomen extremely, extremely quickly, which is not really a problem. That is not really a problem for me in any way. So, is this a siege tower? No, it is not a siege tower. Well, how many do they have here? 182! That's actually a lot. Okay, I was not anticipating that many, but I guess that's fine. Anyway, they did manage to take this castle over here, but that is indeed a siege tower, as we know, so I will not be taking that, I don't think. However, I am going to be taking almost every other thing nearby here. Unfortunately, we are in the rain once again, so we are going to get some more distorted sound effects, which is unfortunate, but yeah, that's just how it is. Anyway, hopefully we'll be okay here. I think the accuracy of our ranged troops is going to be slightly diminished because of the rain as well, but what can I do about that? Okay, so this is usually something that I would warn against doing right now, and generally that's because of the sound. You hear the sounds? Oh, it's absolutely distorted to nothing else. Oh, that is terrible. I'm going to move away from that. Thank you very much. Wow. Okay, that gave me huge ear problems. Wow. Okay. That is some big issues with the rain there. Anyway, as I said, basically what we want to do right now is we want to go straight in to attack and charge into this castle. This is a very risky maneuver because I have noticed that the enemy has some very high tier troops in here. For example, Knights of the Phoenix and Empire Knights and various other people that are actually quite dangerous. And well, the one problem we're having right now is that I have to do this because a lot of the enemy's forces are nowhere near the walls, and so I can't shoot them from outside. So we're gonna have to just go in and do as much damage as possible, and I can only just cross my fingers and hope that no one important dies, even though I've already lost one Node or Ranger. And there it is, 31 renown for us. We did end up losing a couple of Heretic Magni, well, one of them actually, and we lost one Node or Ranger, like I said before, which is pretty costly, but I can't really delay, you know, I can't really delay. So we just have to go for it. And as you can see, this guy is actually having a good personality, so we're just going to let him go. We got some gold bars, various loot, which is pretty nice. Bent siege crossbow, not bad at all. And no one wants to take anything, of course, so we're just going to take the rest for a little bit of loot. And we do have some Ghazi Stalkers here and some Dust Riders. Very nice, actually. Some pretty good... Wow, some pretty good troops right here. Not bad, not bad. Okay, I like this. And we can also take the Dervishes as well if we like. that is actually all I'm going to do. I'm not going to take anything else. I will take the Maiden Cavalry, though, because I really, really like those. And otherwise, there we go. We're just going to move on. Okay, so we're just going to give this to Lethal Durin once again. And then we're going to take a quick look at what's going on here. So obviously Ishkomen is under siege right now, so they are probably going to end up taking that. But can we be efficient enough to take Toldar Fortress while they take that? So we would have taken 2 things in the time that it took them to take 1. And that is obviously the main point here. Anyway, what we're going to do is we are going to give Ansem some more Weapon Master, I think. I could get him some more power. You know what? I'm going to get him some Power Strike. Maybe he's actually going to need that. Maybe it's going to be somewhat useful. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, anytime these the rain soundtrack comes in, it just distorts everything else, which is so annoying. But yeah. Anyway, we are going to make our way over to Toldar Fortress, I think. And we're going to attempt to take everything that we can here. How are we doing? Yes, our morale is still excellent, as you can see. So we should have very few problems. I am going to make a brief stopover at Singal because pretty sure... Yep. Pretty sure they're going to have some food here. Yep, they do. Very nice, very nice. Okay, we're going to take all of this. Unfortunately, the olives and date fruit and things like that are not big stacks in this mod, so it is going to be a little bit annoying for us to have to deal with that, but you know, what can I say? Okay, so yeah, there we go. We've got a good amount of food, and we got a baggage train at a decent level as well. And there's Lethal Durin. He's actually winning a fight extremely easily, and the guy is running away from him. I don't blame him. He has Noldor, right? Yeah, he does. That is hilarious. Look at him. Look at him. He's running around with 8 Noldor Rangers. He has 9 Noldor Warriors. The rest are Knights of Eventide. What? That is insane. He is just crazy good. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, we do have 241, and they actually have a huge amount of Radiant Cross Plague Wardens in here. Let's just see whether this is a siege tower. It is. So Toldar Fortress is going to be something that we will skip, just because it takes way too long for us to make these. As you can see here, it's going to take us 42 hours. Technically, if Anson had 10 in engineering, I'd probably be able to do it in about 28 hours, I think. Something like that. I can't remember the exact amount when you have 10 in engineering, but yeah. Anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.